very warm welcome to Thorough Newspaper Analysis, which is presented to you by Lawseco. So, today we'll discuss important articles from the newspaper of 28th July 2021. We have two important articles of the day. The first is from The Hindu. It is titled as Health Above Faith. In this article, we'll discuss how the fundamental right to health and life is more important than the fundamental right to faith and religion. This is a very beautiful article from The Hindu editorial. The second article is basically we have clubbed two important articles from The Hindu and Indian Express together. The article from The Hindu is Surveillance Reform is the Need of the Hour, and the second article from the Indian Express is How Pegasus Infects. In this section, we'll talk about the surveillance of mobile phones and also other computer networks by the infected virus or malicious attack, that is Pegasus. And we'll talk about the recent report on it and how India can equip itself against these kind of surveillance. Moving ahead, this is about me. This newspaper analysis is presented to you by me. My name is Ankita Parida. I'm working as manager for social media outreach and free content team and also as a current affair expert with Lawseco. You can reach out to me at my LinkedIn or Twitter handle, which is mentioned here. The MCQ section of the day, your question is India undertook major economic reforms in 1991 because of. Your options are option A, balance of payment crisis, option B, forex reserve deficit, option C, both A and B, and option D, none of the above. You can write your answers in the comment section. Moving to the descriptive question of the day, your question is the very existence of a surveillance system impacts the right to privacy and the exercise of freedom of speech and personal liberty under Article 19 and 21 of the Constitution, respectively. Critically analyze. You can write your answers in 250 to 300 words. For free study material and TNA PDF slide, please join our Telegram group. This is the code to the new group. You can directly scan the code from here and join this group, and also you can get the link to this group in the description section of this video. For more such updates, you can also follow us on our Instagram pages, that is Law Seco Judiciary, Law Seco CLAT Prep, and UGC Net Law Seco. So, moving to the first article of the day, we talk about health above faith. The Supreme Court lays down a salutary principle that right to life must override religious sentiment. So, recently, the Supreme Court had put down this, and based on it, the High Court of Uttar Pradesh has also made similar kind of statement. So, what it has happened that there has been a massive demand for a religious gathering during this pandemic known as the Yatra. So basically, this yatra in which the Kanwaris, devotees of Shiva, make a pilgrimage to collect water from Ganga, and they put it on the shivling, and might this also consist of huge gathering, and it might lead to a spike in COVID-19 cases again. We have our lessons from the past instances from the Kumbh Mela, in which it has been said by some dignitaries that it was primarily responsible for surge in infection in the second wave also. We had seen the Kerala ease down the restrictions for 3 days to help the people celebrate Bakri Eid, and today we have Kerala, which has one of the highest number of COVID-19 cases in the country. Amongst all these things, on all these occurrences, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Mr. Yogi Adityanath has been seen to making provisions and preparation for security and also security arrangement for this, and for putting measures in place to avoid spread of COVID-19 infection. However, the court has shown concern about it, and it has asked not to make this symbolic yatra, and it has disagreed even for a symbolic yatra kind of thing in this situation. And the court has reiterated a principle that being observed in most of the places, that the idea of health of the public and the right of life are paramount, and the right to their faith can subside under this. Based on this principle, the court has stated that all other sentiments are subservient to the most basic fundamental right of the human in our state. This decision has been taken on July 16th by the uh, Uttar Pradesh High Court, and it has directed the state government to abort this kind of yatra. And it has also observed that Uttarakhand government had earlier cancelled the yatra in its territory, rightly heeding a warning by experts that such large gathering might pose a major risk in spiking the COVID-19 cases in the country. So it is a very sensitive thing today that these kind of religious events have to be taken very responsibly, and this is the time of pandemic in which this can be subsided, and this can be observed at individual level rather than going for a massive gathering in this kind of time when we are expecting a third wave. Moving to the second article of the day, we talk about surveillance reforms and the Pegasus spyware attack in our country and in world in general. So let me tell you about this Pegasus spyware attack. Basically, it is a malware. It uses the method of phishing, that is, you might click a link and this virus might affect your system or your mobiles, and it can take and regulate all your data which is over there. Also, this is effective by a 0 point click in which you do not have to click any link, and it can be operative without you making any kind of actions. So this spyware is being used to compromise phones of former journalists and editors and leading newspaper and media houses, it has been seen. And also it has been seen that it is affecting various privacy situations in which various dignitaries of our country and abroad are involved. The report has been stating that 300 verified Indian mobile phone numbers, including those of minister, opposition leaders, journalists, and legal community businessmen, government officials, scientists, and human right activists, are being targeted by using this spyware. And please note that this spyware was designed by the NSO group of Israel. So here we see that there is a huge threat to freedom of expression, and especially press freedom. Let's discuss how. So this Pegasus spyware has been used to target 37, as per the report, it has been used to target 37 force, of which 10 belong to Indians. The Amnesty International Security Lab has confirmed that Pegasus has been used to compromise the phones of former journalist of Indian Express, Sushant Singh, former editor of Economic and Political Weekly, that is EPW, Paranjoy Guha, and former Outlook journalist SNM Abdi, and the Wire's two founding editors Siddharth Vardharan, Va- Vardharajan and MK Venue. These revelations highlight a disturbing trend in which we see that the freedom of the press is at a huge risk, because these kind of attacks are taking away their right to privacy, which has been stressed by the government and also many international bodies time and again. Also, it was seen that this Pegasus again attack has been on the journalists and human rights activists who are raising voice against the government, have been in the have been noting down the occurrence of the Bhima Koregaon cases, and are also Dalit activists. Significant number of Indians reportedly are affected by the Pegasus attack time and again, and specifically the journalists. And therefore, we have seen that as per the index, that is the World Press Freedom Index, India is at the position of 142 out of 180 country, which is a very bad number or very bad rank as per a democratic state. What is more shocking is that press requires press requires privacy, and privacy is paramount for freedom of speech. However, these journalists who are at the top notch and are the first who are surveillanced by the by either the state or by some other kind of agency like this. Also, let's look at the importance of surveillance uh, so legislations what we have in India today. We have many problematic provisions today. The government has brought some legislations like the Indian Telegraph Act 1885 and the Information Technology Act IT Act 2000, and these two act are not addressing the surveillance system or the surveillance attack in a proper manner. Rather, it is supporting the government to make surveillance attacks or make surveillance on the dignitaries who are residing in India. There are problematic provisions which offer the government total opacity in respect of interception and monitoring activities, and these provisions in the Telegraph Act relate to telephone conversations, and in the IT Act relate to all kind of communications undertaking on the computer resource. It has been seen with the filing of RTI. There has been reports that in just 1 month, the central government has revealed 7,500 to 9,000 orders of interception of telephones being issued. So this is a very huge number, and this is very disturbing as it completely violates the Article 19 and Article 21 of the Constitution and prevents people from reading or exchanging any kind of unorthodox or controversial or provocative ideas among themselves. Also, it raises a very huge concern when people are surveillanced on phones and social media networks or something like that. Their security is also affected because their locations are sometimes tracked by these kind of attacks also. So Supreme Court and the complete judiciary need to take into account this kind of situation which is happening in our country, and need to protect the citizens from the spread of authoritarianism, which is of paramount importance right now, and it is giving disappropriate and disproportionate power to the central government and the government system. The Supreme Court need to take action in order to make a better deal and use its intervention powers under Article 32 and also under Article 226 of the Constitution, which empowers the Supreme Court and the High Court respectively to issue certain writs, and should prevent these kind of legislation or correct these kinds of legislation in order to prevent such kind of surveillance on its citizens. So surveillance reform is the need of the hour in India. Not only are the existing protection weak today, but the proposed legislation related to personal data protection and the Indian citizen fail to consider any surveillance, which also provide wide exemption to government authorities. So it is very important that the court need to take into this and bring the principles of natural justice and balance the necessities and of the government and objectives of national security with the surveillance today. So this was all for today. Thank you.